which at first made me think that I hadn't got in.
Are you waiting to hear back from Oxford or Cambridge to see if you've got an offer to study there? If so, this video is for you. I'm a mathematics graduate from the University of Oxford, and now I work full-time helping students from across the globe get in to study mathematics at the university of their dreams. Today, I've gathered a bunch of friends of mine from Oxford University, a mixture of both current students and graduates from a bunch of different subjects, giving you guys the best advice they have for what to do in this period where you're waiting for an offer and also their best advice going forward. First up, I'm going to be talking to Jack, a biochemist, and Jacob, an engineer. So we've been a while back since you had applied for your undergrad for biochemistry. I guess would have been 2016 you would have applied, and then 2017 would have been when you started here.
That's right.
So we're going to be chatting, I guess, about this period where you would have done your interviews and are now on the final stretch. Sorry. Do you remember the day you got your offer from
Yeah,
Oxford?
so it came in the post, and then I remember like getting the envelope and then holding it and feeling it was quite thick, and then thinking that'd be quite mean of Oxford to like send, a lot of information, and then the envelope just to send me a rejection.
Yeah.
I opened it and then pulled out like fees and funding information, and then I was like, okay, I think this means I've got in.
Yeah, that'd be super harsh if they'd sent you fees and fun and be like, whoops, JK, you don't get in.
Interestingly, I don't actually think it was that day that I got it because I think it came a little bit later
Okay.
than January the 10th. I think, which at first made me think that I hadn't got in because there was sort of this expected time to get it. Um, I remember, but I do remember it. I think that there was an app that we used that like some UCAS app that told us
Yeah.
what the universities their responses to us was. But I think I first received a physical letter. I received
Yeah.
two actually. One of them from Worcester, which was this very small little envelope. Yeah, pretty much all it said was sorry.
Okay.
And
I
then
see.
the other, because yeah, I didn't get into Worcester. But I got another one from Wadham, which was a much bigger envelope with
Uh-huh.
pretty much saying, yeah, you got in. Well, at
Nice.
least you haven't gotten in, but you are, if you get the grades, you'll get in.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it was all the information. And I remember thinking like, wow. I remember being very, very happy.
Yeah.
And I also remember, I think I can't remember who it was who told me, but it was either my mum or my dad, and they were. It was probably my dad, to be honest. He told me like, "Great stuff. You're not in yet. You work and
Okay.
you get in. You're not in
Yeah.
yet.
Nice. Yeah.
You're like you've got to still get the grade. So don't let this
Yeah.
get to your head too
That's very
much."
true.
Yeah, it was definitely my dad who told me that. So yeah, I was very happy, but also constantly being reminded there's a
Yeah.
lot there's a ways to go. Like so, and
Yeah.
yeah, I would sort of echo that to anyone else who's waiting for their offers, and if they get an offer, I would echo that to them as well. That like massive congratulations, and
Yeah.
I wish you
Yeah.
make sure you put the legwork in to get those
Mhm.
grades.
Were you at school that day, and then maybe when you got home from school, it was there on the
Yeah, so it's
at
quite
home?
anxious because I know some friends like took the day off and then would like just
Uh,
waiting for the post off guy to like come around and deliver the post. But no, I stayed in school. I was anxious the whole day. Got home and then my parents had put the envelope on my desk and then I was like, ah.
I see.
Yeah, and then opened it and yeah.
Nice, awesome. Did you do anything to celebrate the good news?
Honestly, no, just starting to work a bit harder.
Let's talk about A level. So let's say you've got your offer now. It's I got mine on January 10th, 2018. And now the big hurdle, as I say, is getting those A levels. For biochemistry, well, firstly, maybe what A levels did you do? And then what's like the stereotypical combination of A levels or stereotypical kind of A levels that biochemists would do?
I did the stereotypical combination of A-levels to the end, which was biology, chemistry, and maths. Um,
So I did maths and further maths, and I did physics and I did chemistry. So that's four. So the school I went to actually allowed me to do four. Many will only do three.
Mhm.
And for those who really want to do engineering, unless you're sure that it's like, unless you're like, either you want to keep your options open or you're sure it's chemical engineering you want to do, I would recommend maths, further maths, and physics. Um, but I mean, I guess that might not be too relevant to people who are already in the middle of their A levels, but just to people who
Uh-huh.
might be
Sure,
considering
sure,
their
yeah.
options right now.
Were any of those A levels like mandatory or required for your? I presume maths must have been, and maybe physics.
Maths, yeah, maths and physics both were, and further maths was strongly recommended. You don't
And one thing I found was quite interesting is there's no admissions test for biochemistry. So I guess all apart from the interviews, of course, your assessment of biology and chemistry and maths basically comes from those A levels. Um, you had to get an A star AA. I presume most students, like, is there a requirement of where that A star comes from,
No,
or
no,
it
it's
can
it
be
can
any
come
subjects?
from any subjects. The requirement is that you do chemistry, and then another sciencey subject, and maths is very common and highly recommended. So
Okay, awesome. And so, chemistry, I mean, I did chemistry AS level and I dropped it the moment I could after doing the AS level. I struggled a lot with it. I think it's a very challenging subject. What piece of advice would you give to someone who is doing the chemistry A level? Well, let's say they've got their Oxford offer and they need to get like an A or an A star in chemistry. Maybe they apply for biochemistry or chemistry or something like this. What would your best piece of advice be?
it'd be the same for all of the subjects that you're doing for A level. I think the best thing is practicing exam technique. So I got my hands on all of the past papers I could do for biology, chemistry, and maths, and then kind of did them as much as I could. Marked them myself. Tried to learn, like in biology, especially. There's a certain way the examiners want answers worded. So kind of learning, getting involved with like, getting a good understanding of what the examiners are looking for, and then making sure that you're implementing that whenever you're doing past papers. But then also, especially for biology and chemistry, where you need to learn a lot of theory, having whatever works for you. So for me, that was flashcards and mind maps. So I'd make flashcards, I'd do them kind of ad nauseum. I'd make sure I remember everything I write down. And yeah,
I see.
that really helps when you need to remember a lot of information.
I see, interesting. And those kind of techniques and skills, did you take them with you to university exams? Did you have
Yeah,
similar
so
sort of skills?
I thought that, everything's different at university, so I'll just make notes. But that fundamentally just didn't work for me. And I think it just goes to show that, like once you find what works for you, academically, then that doesn't necessarily always change when you take a step up to university. So I spent the first few years just like making notes, and then I was, like, wait, I don't remember any of this information. I'll go back to the things that I know best. So I've got like loads of mind maps from undergrad.
Yeah, so I mean, with maths, I'd say it was kind of similar, like for A levels certainly. So I ended up doing maths, further maths, and psychology was my third A level. And for all of those, it was about just doing lots and lots of questions. Certainly for maths and further maths, it was the case that I ended up doing loads and loads of past papers. And at least at the time, even now, there's like probably over 1,000 different past papers you can do. So I was doing edXL, but I did the AQA ones and the
Yeah.
OCR ones, all the other exam boards, and all the exam papers for the last 50 years or whatever it was. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously you don't have to do that many, but that gave me a sense of confidence. Once I got to, once I'd done enough, I kind of knew I was fine. I was comfortable going into them. And I think once you can get to a stage of comfortability going into like a past paper, you know that going into the real exam that you're just going to be comfortable, and yeah, there'll be no surprises in there. And I think to an extent that was the same with maths at university. I think maths at university is assessed maybe slightly more differently. Obviously, the maths is harder, but more there's a lot more proving things, a lot more theorem-based stuff, which is slightly different to what you would do at A level. But I think a lot of practice doing past papers is actually still very crucial to doing well at university. A fun fact about Jack is that he's a polyglot. He can speak four different languages. And one thing I was going to ask is, obviously, some of those languages you learn or partly at school, and you've kind of continued to practice and stuff. In those 6 months, obviously, you're going to be studying for your A levels. Was language learning something you did in your free time to kind of like wind down, or were there any other things that you would do away from studying to help you, just I guess psychologically, mentally?
So two of those languages I did at AS, so in the first year of A level, and like I'd carry on. So I was watching like German and French like TV and listening to music, but not really. For me, the main thing was music. So I like play the clarinet and I sing. So it was kind of like using the music as a like a way to relax, and that really helped me. But yeah, I think it's important that people find a way for them to switch off like that, so your life is not all about these exams, and whilst they're really important and like the most important academic thing you've done today, it isn't actually the end of the world if things don't go perfectly to plan. But it's really important to have those outlets. Yeah.
And if you could maybe in one or two sentences, what's your best advice for yourself? Maybe what was it, 7 years ago? So 2018, Jacob has just received his offer for engineering. What's your best advice to that Jacob 7 years ago?
Yeah, okay. So allow yourself to be proud of your of this achievement because it is a big deal.
Mhm.
And um remember that rem oh, this is the hard one to answer. I might
To
have
be
to
honest, I think
start,
that's probably I think that's actually a pretty. I mean, we've discussed lots of things. I think that alone is probably a good thing. Like, allow yourself to be proud. Like,
yeah.
I
Allow
guess
yeah.
you
Mhm.
have worked super hard. For maths at Oxford, they have 200 odd spaces. So you're one of 200, and then if you include Cambridge in the same cohort, one of 400 of the smartest mathematicians your age, like on paper, in the country. And that's no easy thing to achieve. So I think that in itself is I think from that point of view, allow yourself to be proud of that
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
But
Allow yourself to
again,
be
don't
proud.
get too
Allow yourself to be proud and acknowledge in that moment what needs to be done to make the offer into a placement.
Yeah, and then come results day,
Then,
you can be even prouder of achieving that place at
yep.
Oxford or Cambridge.
And then if you didn't get it, which would be unfortunate, you will know that look, I did what I could do to try and get this. Maybe I got
Yeah,
unlucky, maybe something went wrong, but
yeah,
you didn't let yourself down by taking your foot off the gas in those months before because by not acknowledging what needed to be done to get that placement. So
yeah. I don't think
yes,
you can never be annoyed with, or I can never be annoyed with myself if I've known I've given it my
exactly.
best shot.
Exactly.
Um, and to finish us off, we've got some wise words from Flora.
Hi, I'm Flora. I'm in my fourth year studying biology at Oxford. Whatever it is you're going to do, and wherever it is you're hoping to do it, you need to ace these exams first. I'm a firm believer that there's no such thing as too many past paper questions, and yet that's only half the problem. You need to keep yourself interested and motivated. So do whatever it is that does that for you. That might be distracting yourself with music and drama and sport, but it could also be reading a fun non-fiction book in the subject you're interested in. Once the exams are out of the way, you might find you need to put a bit of work into reminding yourself that you do like learning and you do like your subject. Obviously, resting will help with this, but you can also learn something simply for the sake of learning it, like a language on Duolingo. There are some things you can do to prepare for your degree. You should look online and see if there's a reading list suggested. There might also be catch-up work you could do, for example, if you're studying biology but you haven't done chemistry or maths. You should also buy a diary, join the Facebook groups you're supposed to join, and follow any clubs and societies on Instagram that you're interested in joining once you start.
So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what you should do over the next few months to help you best prepare. This video is very different to the ones that I normally make on the channel. Normally, I'm rambling on about maths, either solving some problem or talking about or proving a cool theorem. So this is very different. So I don't know how this will do with all the YouTube analytics, if it will be a good video or not. But just let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, if you didn't enjoy the video, let me know in the comments and I can tell me whether or not to make more or less of these videos. And do give it a like as well, even if you didn't like it. I don't know, it's just quite nice. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Best of luck if you are in this period. And if you do want some support with any part of your uni application, be it admissions tests, interviews, personal statements, do get in contact. I'm a full-time maths tutor, and 80% of my students end up getting offers from either Oxford or Cambridge. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.